Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Astakai friends, welcome to this panel on mega event security. So as we heard from Mr. Waleed this morning, there's a lot of very high profile events coming up in the Kingdom over the next 10 years. We've got the 2029 Winter Games taking place in Trojena and up in Neom. We've got the 2030 World Expo taking part right here in Riyadh, and anybody who visited the Expo in Dubai will have been witness to the scale of the operation required to man that particular event. Of course, we've got the 2034 World Cup coming up in the Kingdom, where hopefully we'll see Saudi Arabia beat Argentina once more, and we can enjoy a day off the next day again. So the escalation of these events, they're obviously part of Vision 2030, or as gentlemen put it this morning, Reality 2030, where there's a strategic plan to increase these type of events, to increase infrastructure spending, to increase jobs, to increase tourism. But these type of events obviously come with some significant risks that keeps us security professionals up at night. Crowded places, very high profile events, international focus, but security challenges that the panel here has kindly stepped up to answer some questions on. So we've got experts in planning for these types of events. We've got experts in technology, and of course the operation part for Regina, Mohamad and Ahmed. So we've only got around 25 minutes, so we'll dive straight into questions, but please, we'll keep some time for questions at the end. So if you do have any questions, please do keep them in mind, and the panel can tackle them. So Regina, we'll start with you, please. So from your experience leading the security planning for these high-profile events, obviously you were involved in World Cup 2022, the highly successful event in Qatar. What do you think the key components of a successful strategic framework are, and how do we ensure it's adaptable to these type of evolving risks?
Hello, everyone. First of all, I want to say that, to my personal opinion, it's really great that Middle East is attracting so many events nowadays. I think Middle East deserves this, and it gives a great boost to economy, to reputation, and to advancing of the region in general. Regarding your question, I had an opportunity to drive strategic planning for Winter Olympic Games and 2 FIFA World Cups. All these events were of a different scale and different complexity, environment, but all of them, they shared the same principles. Firstly, it's a strategy. Mr. Waleed, in his opening speech, mentioned that the strategy is important and alignment with the national vision is a key. I totally agree with this statement because each country hosting a World Cup or Olympic Games or Expo, whatever major tournament, does it for a reason. And this reason should be very clearly understood by all stakeholders and players. So this is where we come to defining what type of security we want to provide for a specific event. When we talk about major events, especially sporting events, we are not holding a military operation. We are holding a celebration of football, of I don't know, bobsleigh, of hockey, or whatever. And this is where security is more like it's more like a service rather than a security operation. And this is where this balance it becomes crucial. Secondly, sorry. It's about planning and integration. We speak a lot about planning, integration, and in field of security, but when we're talking about major events, it's even more complex because different stakeholders like MOI or other security agencies, private sector, they come together for a short time period and they have to change their operation. They have to change their approach. They have to align to civilian organizers and to all together to deliver a new product and then come back to their business as usual activities. A third thing, which is for me one of the key things, is lasting legacy. There were in previous history cases when Olympics were held in a country and then the economy was ruined. This is not how it should be, to my personal point of view. The events, they should bring positive legacy, the new standards, the new people who are skilled to deliver such high-scale events and so on. And the last thing I wanted to mention, answering your question, is that our previous colleagues during the panel session, they mentioned training, and the presentation was about this. It's absolutely important. I wanted just to add a point to training, that readiness exercises are absolutely important as well. Because when you are planning an event, like for 5 years, for 6 years, or even for 1 year, like you have a feeling that you've planned everything and all is amazing. But then when you come to a reality, it's totally different. It's like a crash test, which sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't go very well. So for me, readiness exercises are a key success factor. You've planned, you've trained your people, but then please bring all of them together and try to hold a match or something like this. There would be a lot of surprises. Thank you.
You mentioned a great point there, Regina, on stakeholder coordination. One of the things that we find challenging in our designs today is coordinating the various stakeholders across the project, people who maybe don't understand security, and how do you get them, like Brett was saying, to speak the same language and to understand each other's requirements. Stakeholder coordination, then, how do you establish clear roles for stakeholders? How do you establish their responsibilities, and how do you create that trust that's required between the stakeholders in these type of projects?
This is a very painful question for each event. So being a strategic advisor, one of my key roles is actually to integrate all stakeholders together within a structured governance framework. Here we are talking about both planning period and event time. So for the planning period, it's crucial to develop a very clear multi-layered governance approach. When you clearly identify who is the boss, when you clearly identify who are the involved players and what are their roles within the project. This is, according to my experience, this is the most difficult part of the project. If it's done, consider you have like half of your success of the event. Of course, this shall be formalized, officially communicated, and everyone should be happy about their roles and responsibilities. Then the same should be done for the event time. And normally, like for the planning stage, you have agencies working within their mandate, and for the event time, you have special command centers which are established to rule the project as an operation. So these are two separate, let's say, planning areas which should be done in alignment. And the other thing, which is also very important, is building relationships with the international stakeholders. It's extremely important to build the venues, to build the roads, infrastructure, and etc. But to my personal point of view, it's much more important to build relationships with the bordering countries, with the international security organizations. It's about sharing information. It's about sharing experience. And that's one of the key things if we talk about building stakeholder relationship for major events.
Brilliant. Thank you, Regina. Mohamad, good morning. How are you doing? So you're obviously KSA Director for Genetech.
Yep.
One of the topics that I'm sure we're going to hear more and more about is AI and the problems that comes with AI in terms of data management and data privacy. So how do you ensure that technologies like AI-driven analytics or biometric access control are aligned with organization-specific operational goals, especially when it comes to data protection?
Well, thank you, Greg. Assalamu alaikum. Now, we have been working with leaders in the security industry to provide more than technology. People need more than technology. They are looking for implementing intelligent solutions that support them in their operations, into their day-to-day operations, enhancing their security, scalability, reliability, and most important is having a secured infrastructure. Now, everything starts with asking ourselves a question: what organizations need? What's their plan? Where they need to head? And this brings us to planning, understanding, are they looking for improving their operations, improving their day-to-day security, or enhancing their resource allocation? And this is where we start looking at the security not as a cost center, but as part of total cost of ownership and improving your reliability. Now, this is where unification, security and unification comes, where it connects all the modules gathered within a security program and helping operators within their decisions and the progress. And especially guaranteeing scalability. Security must guarantee scalability, cybersecurity, and most important is guaranteeing the future, where we are heading and being ready for the future. Now, in addition to that, privacy is a big factor. Building systems based on compliance, where privacy is a key factor inside the architecture, and making sure to comply to the latest regulations and norms set by the GDPR.
Yep. Thank you very much. Another headache that we find is unifying technology. You know, there's a lot of systems to integrate technology.
Yeah.
It's something I'm sure you can lend your opinion on. How can a unified security platform help to manage the kind of complex challenges that you find, like crowd control and incident response during these type of mega events?
Now, this is a great topic, and everybody is focusing on unification. What's beyond? Now, imagine what's going here in Saudi Arabia. The previous panelists spoke about the progress, what's happening in Riyadh. Gentlemen, we expect a progress within the vision of 2030, and we are seeing it right now. We're expecting over 15 million residents and visitors in Riyadh. Imagine the amount of data, the flow of data. But again, is security about installing cameras or adding more sensors? How much sensors and cameras and feeds do we need to operate, for example, a city like Riyadh? This is where intelligent systems come to help us to operate and have faster decision response in order to be able to accumulate the threats that we have on daily basis. So let's say, for example, Marathon Riyadh that happened last month. More than 50,000 visitors came, and imagine an operator sitting behind the screens and getting alarms all over. Threat alarms, crowd unbehaving alarms, a child missing, or a bomb. Where would the operator start? What is the priorities? So systems and intelligent systems help operators and help us prioritize threats and build a plan. That's what security systems must be able to do in the future.
Thank you very much, Mohamad. Ahmed, morning.
Thank you.
So we've covered planning for these type of events, we've covered technology, and now we've got to operate them. You've based on your extensive experience in this area, what would you say the key operational milestones are that must be secured throughout the life cycle of the mega project, all the way from the initial setup to when you clean up and hand over?
So normally people will say that finishing the project phases is enough for security to feel that they achieved the success in the event. But the way I see it adopted in other places, and it made more sense and enhanced the security image, is adopting two principles, which is being enablers for the organization as a security, and the second thing is evolving. Being enablers means that it makes our work much easier, and our reputation within the organization is much, much better. Because everyone here knows that we don't have the best reputation in any organization we work on. People look at us as we are interrupting their work, delaying the work. So being enablers is a good campaign for security and will enhance our image anywhere we work. The second thing is as I said, is evolving or adopting the new ways to deal with the work. So I have a small example we had in my last job is the project phases was 5 phases. The other stakeholder need to deal with us along with the 5 phases so we can achieve and feel that we achieved our milestones and they can do it too. By adopting these 2 principles, we shorten the way to 2 main stages, which is the construction and the operation phase, instead of the normal 5 stages of any event or project. That enhanced our image and built a good reputation for the security team as enabler in the organization, and help us achieve more by saving our resources and depending on our team and saving their time and saving the cost for the organization.
Very good. One of the things that both Regina and Mohamad have mentioned is the complexity of these type of events. There's so many stakeholders, so many potential issues, crowds. As a commander, you really need situational awareness, don't you? I mean, that's one of the main things as an event commander or a leader in those type of events you really need to know. How can you ensure that real-time situational awareness and effective command and control over multiple teams during these kind of live event operations?
So this can be done by ensuring that you have 3 criteria before any event. First one is you will need to ensure that you have the proper leadership and monitoring for the team. So if you have the mentoring and the leadership, you will ensure that you have the right people knowing their job, doing their job and feeling valuable and feel part of the organization. Because at the moment, most of the events is just people coming to work for a day and leave. If he didn't feel his value and feel blending with the organization and know why is he asked to do what he wants, so it will achieve more by doing that for the organization or for your team. The second thing will be adopting the new technology and ensure that you are using the available tools in the market. As my colleague Mohamad said, you need to have the proper CCTV, you need to have the AI tools. That will save you a lot of money for the organization. As mentioned in the panel before us, that saving costs in the security is a huge factor, or selling our need in the organization for the C-suite level. And the last thing is we can't focus in our own success. We need to bring everyone with us on the table, because eventually most of these events is a shared success for the whole organization. So if we think about the security alone, that won't happen. So the third thing is to ensure that you have the proper command in the event on ground and you have awareness about anything happening outside, is mainly can be solved by bringing everyone to the table, either through hotlines or a joint command and control center for all the team participating in the event. So that will make it much easier, and we can ensure that we have the awareness and the command of our team.